Welcome to Toy Business Unboxed, your gateway to the secrets of the toy industry. Here, Jason Shea, a toy entrepreneur and expert in the field.
Every product we develop is really inspired by some of the real life experience that we have with our son.
60% of all toys last year were sold on Amazon, which is incredible.
Be passionate about it because it's a road, it's a journey.
Like when you have an idea that you think is like gonna somewhat like change the world, make things better, I'd say go for it.
We'll guide you through the enchanting world of toy design, marketing, and manufacturing. Now let the unboxing begin.
Welcome back to another episode of Toy Business Unboxed podcast. I'm your host, Jason Shea. Today's guest is Marc, the owner and CEO of Bone is Back. Marc is also a professor of marketing at Roden College, a former McKinsey consultant, and a creator of the award-winning product Bone is Back that we'll be discussing today. So he built the whole concept from scratch as a solo founder and have won multiple national awards in his first year, including Month's Choice Award and multiple other awards. So in today's call, we just want to kind of dive into his journey, how to launch a seasonal toy brand from scratch. So thank you so much for joining us on the podcast today.
Thank you for having me.
So first, let's talk about your background. Your background is definitely not toy, right? So how do you get into the toy industry and what is the story behind that?
Sure. Well, I guess everybody's background is not toy until they go into the toy industry.
Yeah.
We share something in common. So the background is it's like closing the loop, I would say.
Yes.
I'm from Switzerland, and so I worked in Switzerland for McKinsey, as you mentioned, and actually run my first company about 30 years ago.
Oh, wow.
It was in the jewelry business, so I had some kind of exposure. And then in between then and about 2 years ago, I pursued more an academic career, but including still consulting and expert witness. So I never really left practice, but now I'm really coming full back around of running this small startup family toy business.
I see. Where did this idea of do you have a product with you as well that maybe you can show
so the idea of my girls.
Where did the idea come from?
So this is Mr. Bones. It's book and toy set.
Yes.
He's very cute. I have here a little bit a better view. So the idea came, I have two daughters. They're now 9 and 11. And about 5 years ago, so we love Halloween and we love the elf on the shelf. You know, many people do the elf and there are many advantages, but also some stress points, which maybe we come back later, including nightly moves. But so my girls 1 October say, well, why does our skeleton not move at night like the elf? And I said, wow, that's just brilliant. And so that's how I then first started to hide the skeleton and make pranks similar to the elf. But when I created this tradition, then I wanted to do certain things which are different. And one is, for example, you don't have to move the skeleton bones at night because sometimes he had so much fun that he doesn't move. So there's no pressure to parents. And another big difference is that you can touch him. The elf, which is the only toy you cannot really touch, this Bones is meant to be touched and played. And, you know, we're going to talk about other things like comes apart. So that's the origin. So actually my daughters, and to finish, the answer is that's why when I designed Bones, he has two hearts. And
I didn't know that. Okay.
Those who maybe follow it and see it visually. So there's one heart in the chest.
Yeah.
And the nose is a reverse heart.
Oh, okay.
This is really to honor my two girls who gave the idea, the birth of the idea, Mr. Bones.
I see. And I've seen the product itself very unique from concept to like the prototype. How long does it took you? And can you walk us through a little bit about your journey on prototyping this particular toy?
Absolutely. Well, so I had to tap in obviously with experts. And for that, I worked with Gemba, which is a specialized company in the United States for product development. So they helped me through, you know, so it's a one-stop solution, and they found expert CAD designers, toy designers, packaging designers. So I did not have to look myself. They looked around and they guided me through the entire process until testing, finding manufacturing, and so forth. So it was actually rather short, at least for a startup, I would say. And given the complexity, it's very complex to design.
Yeah, that's a lot of moving pieces.
It comes apart. And so the joints are sturdy enough to keep in place.
Yeah.
not too much so they don't get stuck.
Mm.
And so the entire process took about, I would say, until we were in the store, about 10 months.
Oh, that's extremely
And
fast, actually.
yes, I know, but
Yeah.
I was pushing for that.
I see. And also the other question I have is like, as you are developing this product, like obviously you work with a team of experts on the product development, coming up with the ideas. How much of like product research, or have you done a lot of like user testing as well to kind of
Oh,
guide you through the process?
yes, and I think that's the beauty of being a marketing professor. So I know market research, I did
Yeah.
that extensively.
Okay.
And so I did, before I even did the toy, I did a market research analysis, using
see.
tools like Qualtrics, Prolific, and others
I
to
see.
gather consumer data of A,
Okay.
do people want a toy for this book?
Okay.
B, what should it be priced for?
I see.
And then once, I looked at that and the willingness to pay, and then I did a survey about the elf and what are the issue with the elf, what people
Mhm.
like and dislike. And
Yeah.
then systematically every dislike, like
Mhm.
you cannot touch,
Yeah.
you have to move at night,
Yeah.
and it's only for Christians. So these are all the things where when I did the design of the product, I eliminated, right? Bones
I see.
Halloween is for everybody, every religion and belief. You can
Yeah.
touch, you actually must touch it.
Mhm.
He moves at night. And then another thing was also that he's very flexible. So he stands on one leg. You see it there.
Oh, okay.
I can show it here.
Yeah.
And glows in the dark. So I really designed all the features
Yeah.
by
Yeah.
trying to eliminate all the points which the elf falls short.
And also your product also comes with a book, right? So there's a story element to the product as well?
Yes, so exactly. So there's the book, and that's why it's called Bones is Back, because in the book, he has friends. And
Okay.
you know who his friends are?
Mm-hmm.
The elf and others.
Okay.
So the book
Yeah.
is where his friends are the elf, the
Yeah.
Easter bunny, and the fairy, tooth
I
fairy.
see. Okay.
And so
I
that's
see.
why it's called Bones is Back, because Bones is back
Ah.
not just for Halloween, Bones is
Yeah.
back for Easter, Bones is back for Christmas, Bones is back for when you use your teeth. So it is designed that it is, while it is still
Interesting.
seasonal,
Yeah.
you can use it year long.
I see.
And that's why we have sales every day. Why obviously the peak is in October, but we have sales every day because people buy it for Christmas gift or birthday gift or just a general gift.
Okay, that's very clever on the angle and the marketing angle on making sure tidying the story. I think that's where your expertise as a marketing professor for so many years really kind of bake into your overall marketing strategy.
I think that's why my parents called me Mark from marketing,
Mark for
I don't
marketing.
know.
I see. And I know you also launched it on Kickstarter as well for this product, if I remember correctly. Can you kind of walk us through your experience launching this particular product on Kickstarter? How did it go, and what are some of the struggle and lesson learned that you
Yes.
with your campaign?
So overall, Kickstarter is, if you want to do a good job, it's a lot of work.
Yeah,
People
it
just
is.
think it's this and this. It's a project in itself. It's a couple of
Yes.
100 hours minimum. There's
Yes.
so much more than just the product and the video. The key is how you get people excited about, how you get people, assigned for this project, promote this project, co-promote. It's a lot of work. Was it worth? Absolutely. The main goal for us was actually PR, or what we call social proof. And Kickstarter enabled us to have a social proof. Like, is there actual demand? Are people really willing to buy it?
Yeah.
And these are obviously the early, the innovators and early adopters who buy
I
it.
see.
But it gives you some kind of idea, because if you are not successful in Kickstarter, it's going to be very hard later on when you hit the real market to do that. One advantage of Kickstarter is rather risk-free in a sense. If you don't have the perfect product, they cannot really write a negative review. So it is somehow more safer environment. You still need to fill all the legal obligations, but it's more, the feedback, because when you're on Amazon and you sell and it doesn't perform, people write negative reviews, which are impossible to get rid of.
I see. Yeah, it's definitely a lot of work on the Kickstarter side. And obviously for Kickstarter, we work with a partner called Launchboom. That's all they do every single day. It's Kickstarter. So I know there's a lot of time, sweat, and tear that you need to put behind the campaign to make sure it is successful. What are some of the things that you notice in your own like Kickstarter journey that work well for your campaign?
I mean, as I said, I think the key is the list, right? Who do
The
you
list itself, okay.
contact?
Yeah.
How do you get the word out? How
Yeah.
you start? And you need to have a couple of thousand people already somehow.
Already, yes.
And do not buy the lists. They're illegal. They give you trouble. There are people promise you stuff like I would not recommend.
Yes,
So
yes.
the key is really genuine. We got the list through multiple sources. One was Instagram.
Okay.
So we had already a couple of thousand people following us on Instagram. So it was easier to get those contacts, people to sign up. Obviously, a lot of friends and family, who need to be there. And the key is really in our goals, it was very successful.
I see.
And they were funded within an hour. And that's also another thing. You need to understand the algorithm of Kickstarter.
Yeah.
Basically is the day you launch, you should be
Yes.
sure you get the funding. Because once you get the funding, the tool works that it might promote you further or might even make a Kickstarter preferred project. So the algorithm are behind, very important to understand that, you reach a goal like within ideally the first few minutes.
Yeah, and also you kind of it becomes a flywheel because when people can see it, it's funded under 5 minutes,
Exactly.
and it helps with the conversion rate significantly as well. So.
One maybe piece of advice if people want to do Kickstarter is do not put your goal too high.
Yeah,
put the goal too high.
Yeah.
While this is your aim, the time to reach that is actually against you. So let's say if you want $20,000, don't put 20, put like $3,000. Because then you're funded quicker and then the algorithm kicks in. So I think many are too proud and say, but that looks nothing. But at the end, what matters is how many people buy and how much cash do you really got.
What is the number you use for your campaign?
So it was about similar to exactly what I just said.
3,000. Okay.
And we at the end, we got like, I think $18,000, It was okay. It's a medium-sized project.
Yeah.
It's very niche, but we didn't want to spend more advertising money because at the end, the cash out, was just not justified. So
yeah. Were you also running meta ads before the campaign, like a lot of other companies do, to kind of gain a pre-launch list?
So we did on Facebook and Instagram. We promoted that.
Okay.
Yes. But
that's a very common
best
strategy.
is to gather the email list before.
Yes, very common strategy, in the industry.
And that's why it takes time because you should start 6 months ahead, 6 to 9 months ahead by generating that. It takes time.
It takes time. And some of the strategy people kind of really stand by is having a reservation marketing funnel. Means people pay $1 to reserve the product. So when they go live, they will make sure they can get it. So that way it's almost like a micro commitment that people will just pay $1 for. So a lot more likely for them to actually buy the product instead of just getting a random email that people don't take action on. So.
Yeah, or actually even free sign up. As long as you have the email, right? What you want is the real email and then obviously the different packages you bundle with the Kickstarter where you definitely need to do a lot of bundling, product bundling and give freebies to give them an incentive of that this offer is unique, so I cannot buy this on Amazon. Like we made individual certificate. Like we say, you are founding a beautifully illustrated certificate where say you are among the founding. This is a certification of founders. Finance.
Interesting. Okay, I like that.
And angle. We customize it with the name. So just something making them special.
Make them special, yes.
Right. Doesn't cost much to do. If it's a PDF, it's nothing, costs time. But I think it gives them something where imagine Elf on the Shelf would have done this 20 years ago. And you would say, hey, I'm one of the first 500 people funding Elf on the Shelf, right? So the same, we want to now create this exclusivity. You're part of something, you can never buy again.
Yeah, that's actually a brilliant strategy as part of the launch. Again, you want to make sure they feel special as well. So next, I want to kind of transition a little bit about retail because both of me and you is attending Astra this weekend, which is a retail show. And I know you are already kind of looking into distributing in US through Walmart, Amazon, and other channels. How is it working so far for you? Since your brand is still fairly new as far as you're trying to expand on the retail side, what strategy has been working well for you? Anything you want to share? Do you use rep group? Do you use fair? Or what is your strategy for brick and mortar retail?
Yeah, great question. So we launched last year, right? And last year was, I would call it the pilot of B2C, business to consumer. So we just wanted to go, a couple thousand selling to consumer, get feedback, understand what really works, what doesn't work, right? It's like a test market, extensive one. That was last year. This year, it's basically a pilot for B2B.
Okay.
Where, exactly we're going to have retailers, because now from last year to this year, we made significant improvement of the packaging.
Okay.
Of the product itself. We improved a few little tweaks. We improved the case packaging strategy and shipping and all that stuff. We can go to that. So we made almost all along, like this package here is brand new. So for example, we have now a sandwich insert, right?
Oh,
We didn't have a sandwich insert. So this protects, so this way we know the people who see the product, it doesn't come apart, because obviously bones is meant to come apart.
Yeah.
If it's growing in boxes from China, and shipping, and then to Amazon and so forth, it's so much thrown that, it's supposed to come. So sometimes it came apart. It doesn't mean it's broke.
Yeah.
So this is one example where we shifted from a simple insert to a sandwich one.
I see.
That's one thing. Or on the package, just one other example is initially we had two sides like this.
Yeah.
But then we were made aware that, because it's a rather big package.
Yeah.
That you might have different information on the side. And so that's why one side of the new package does have the brand name and some product images and the age.
Okay.
So again, learning and improving. So I think that's the biggest lesson learned. Whoever wants to launch a new product, whether it's an existing company or a new one, is nobody gets it right the first time.
Yeah, true.
But if you scale too fast, you have a too big problem to fix. Right. So while sequential scaling up allows you as you go to improve, Apple did this with the iPhone 1 and now we're iPhone 16. Right. There were a lot of improvements over time. And so I think that's something to, remember. And that's why I think now we're ready. This product and the new packaging and the insert are now really ready, retail ready.
I see. And is US still going to be your main kind of marketplace you'll be focusing on?
So yes, obviously the US, because it's way bigger than Canada, right? It's about 10 times more people. But with Canada, the Walmart and the Canada deal came because there were people visiting us at the toy fair in New York.
Okay.
And they both actually act as distributors. So actually the Canada people, Vivier, it's called, we ship directly from China, manufactured to their warehouse in China, and they do the rest. So I get 2 invoices.
Okay.
A first and a second payment, and that's it. And they deal with the rest.
Okay.
We support them. We have on Dropbox a folder for the brand guide, including all the documents, the CPCs, the sales documents, pictures, and so forth. So they have access to all the digital assets, the messaging. We approve their Amazon listing, but this way we can handle much more volume with fewer clients, which is very nice to have.
I see. Yeah, and I think your team does a fairly good job on social media. Your Instagram is actually pretty active. Can you kind of talk about your overall social media marketing strategy right now? Is that all done in-house? If so, what is your content strategy? Are you doing everything like filming it in-house, or do you work with a lot of influencers, so on and so forth?
That's a loaded question. But
I know.
So with Instagram, I'm very lucky because my fiance is a micro-influencer. So
okay.
So she was very used to that and she does it. So that's why we do it in-house for a couple of reasons. One is we have the internal competency of doing it. 2, control. We want to control the messaging because this is really more one-to-many. While we do have influencer posting their stuff, we really want to control, the brand messaging. And the third is communication, where while we also want to talk about the product, but we also want to talk about, like this week, the Astra or the awards or other things, which have nothing to do really with sales, but it's more corporate branding. And so we use Instagram as more our messaging tool to use corporate communication also next to all the other things.
Okay.
We do have an influencer program, which gets activated in August for the 3 months where, we invite influencers on Instagram and, they get paid a more commission. With TikTok, it's a totally different thing. Actually, I like TikTok far more because you can
Okay.
search for creators, the affiliates. It's all
Mm.
integrated. They get the sample shipped directly from TikTok. I love it.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why Instagram doesn't do the same. They could make so much money to have
Yeah, I know. They are a little bit behind when it comes to e-commerce and commerce on their platform compared to TikTok. Like
they're so
TikTok now, they
behind.
also have a fulfillment center too. It's fulfilled by TikTok too. So
Exactly. I
yeah,
mean, so I don't understand why Instagram, because everything needs to be done by third parties, right? The
yes,
processing
for
of the
Instagram.
commission,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
sales are done by your website, so they lose out of
yes,
a lot of opportunities. I don't
yes, I
understand
do.
why they don't copy and paste the idea of TikTok, which is
Yeah.
really great. They do a good
I
job.
think Zuckerberg was so busy with his other project, he never really spent time on Instagram as much.
He could hire you, and then you could implement it. I mean,
Maybe.
it's really copy pasting the idea. It's very similar to
Yeah.
Amazon with TikTok seller account and the shop, but the influence part is the most valuable. I really
I
like the
think
way you
for the
can.
Instagram, well, from my perspective, the reason is they are making so money on the ad side. That's pure profit. I don't think they have a lot of incentive to build out that channel and just collect on commission and all that. For them, they make a lot more money on pushing all the Instagram account to spend more money on ads instead of creating like a full marketing platform like TikTok is doing right now. Because TikTok ads, let's just be honest here, not a lot of people do TikTok ads, but almost everyone run Facebook and Instagram ads. So that's a different marketplace, and
Yeah.
all their revenue, their shareholders just want them to generate more revenue from the ads. So that's
Mhm.
very little incentive for Instagram to spend millions or if not hundreds of millions dollars to build out what TikTok is trying to build out right now. So I think that's
Mhm.
like a misaligned in corporate incentive on look at what is actually making money right now. Maybe they didn't have the foresight to see that. So maybe in a few years, they probably will regret on this decision, but we'll see how the thing play out in a few years. So
But I mean, then you can say, Amazon does a hybrid model. They
mhm.
do the advertising and they do the fulfillment.
Yes, yeah,
So,
yeah, 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 yeah.
I think, and they could outsource, right? IG could outsource, say, you know what, we do a strategic alliance with Amazon. You do all the fulfillment, and we just collect the commission part and the sales part. At
They
least
could. I don't know
we
why
get
they
like
don't, but
one,
they
two,
could.
three, 4% of commission.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, I know. I
I mean, you
think
don't need to build your own full infrastructure, maybe. But anyway,
for sure, for
come
sure, for
back
sure.
to TikTok. We like it. This
Mhm.
year is new, so we're just starting this channel. There's
Yeah,
definitely a learning curve to be done.
for sure.
It's also new fulfillment through TikTok now, and we try
Mhm,
actually now AWD, so Amazon Warehouse
mhm.
Distribution
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
to TikTok. So this is all new, and there's a lot of cost cutting potential.
Potential,
Where I
yes.
think toy companies spend a lot of money for distribution logistics,
Yeah.
which is no real value added for the end consumer and
Mhm,
not really for the toy company. And I
mhm.
think that is where I'm very, very strategic in reducing the shipping costs
Mm.
because, it's a lot. It's very expensive.
Yeah, it could be, especially for a product of your size. I have a book as well. It's actually pretty big, including the books and the toys together as a
Correct.
set. So
Yes.
like every cent you can send, it really add up when you're selling in thousands of units. So
And that's why we're working probably on a smaller package where the book is in the back. So this
mhm.
will help us cut costs. But at the moment, we like the design. It's very unique. And
Yeah.
so people, really see, okay, it's a book, it's a skeleton toy. And so
Mhm.
that has its value too. I know Elf on the Shelf has the opening, but we
Yeah.
want to be different. And, we don't want to copy all the many other book and toy sets which are designed
Yeah.
differently. So.
Okay. And next thing I want to kind of transition to talk about the book itself, because I think you also spend a lot of time on the book and you won 5 different national awards just on the book itself. Can you kind of talk about your process, like on creating the book? Do you hire like a professional author or did you wrote it
No,
yourself or who actually wrote it? And,
no, I wrote it. So,
okay.
yeah, I think it was 7 awards, book and 5 toy awards or so.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Well, remember, I'm a professional writer in business writing.
Ah, okay. Okay. Okay.
So I'm in the like 1% the best research in the world. But so I think I'm used to write professionally. And what
Yeah.
happened is how I got into children's literature was obviously through my children. But
Yeah.
in 2000, I went through divorce.
Oh.
And
Yeah.
so I thought, oh my God. So my girls at that time were 4 and 6. And I thought, how I going to tell my girls that
Yeah.
we're going to get divorced? And
Yeah.
so, there are many books out there, but no one is really good. Like they all use the word divorce and separation. And so that was my first children's book is
Yes.
how do you tell children that you're divorced? And the title was We Are Family, but Not Married. And the reason, the main message of that first children's book was, you don't need to be married to be family, right? You're not married to your mother. You're not married to your sibling. You're not married to your cousin, but they're all family. So
Yeah.
you can still be family, but not be married. And I talked to a lot of psychologists behind and family. Anyway,
I
that was
see.
my entry to the children's literature.
I see.
And then I enjoyed that. And I got so much
I
good
see.
feedback that when my girls came up with the idea, it was very, very clear the vision I had. I want to have it short. I want to have it rhyme. I want to have it colorful. So it's very simple. So this is one page, has just a few words.
Okay.
Right, so it comes, this is the elf page. So
Uh-huh.
very similar, very colorful. So
Yeah.
the writing was clear, and then I needed a designer. I'm not a designer.
Yeah. Yeah.
So no, I wish, but no. And so I went to Design Crowd, I did a global competition, finding a designer. They sent some sketches. And so that's how then he visualized my vision and
I
the
see.
word into the book.
I see. And is your daughter still part of the business? Does both of them actually help with you on a daily operation right now?
I mean, they're 9 and 11, but they do help.
Not yet.
They do help packing. I explain them the packing. I show them some social media posts of family
see.
posting.
Yeah.
They sometimes do some pictures and give me I mean, their kids are the best engine for creativity. And that's why Bones is back. We said on the package here, it says a kid-powered tradition. And the reason is true magic happens when kids are in charge, not when parents are in charge. And the same is with creativity. And that's why
True.
it's like a paradigm shift to the elf on the shelf where the parents do the pranks and they're great. I mean, I follow those websites on Facebook and I mean, fantastic fun ideas. But I think true creativity really comes when kids do something totally unexpected, which we all know, those who have kids, they do unexpected stuff.
Yes, they do. I have 3 kids myself. They do. Yeah. The next question I want to kind of ask, because your product is obviously highly seasonal, and the toys and game product itself is already pretty seasonal for most of the toys and game products, since usually we see a huge spike in Q4. But for you specifically, since it's really centered around Halloween, is there anything that you do particularly for your company when it comes to the seasonality aspect of it, as you are kind of planning and like doing the scaling and like the logistic behind it?
So I mean, seasonality has advantages and disadvantages. So has non-seasonal products. Yeah, for me, the way my lifestyle work and the way I work, I think it's actually an advantage.
Okay.
And here are a couple of reasons. Number one, it allows me to have very specific dates I need to have a product launched. So I'm not like, is it in 3 months? I know every year there needs to be a new SKU. I know exactly when to. The second biggest one probably is economy of scale. I can run one production run at this moment, right? Which allows me low production costs, low shipping costs. So I do one run. Now, obviously, there's a challenge is either you overproduce or underproduce.
Yeah, it's hard to forecast that.
Even when you deal with an annual product, you have the same issue, but you don't have the economy of scale.
True.
And I think that's why I compare, my company almost like a tech companies. We talked about a lot of technology and I'll use Claude and AI tools. I mean, data helps me to minimize or mitigate and minimize those risks.
Yeah.
So I think it's a lot of advantage, to deal with this as is also in terms of financial needs and cash flow management. I know exactly I have a period, I get paid and I don't get paid, and then it's more calm and we can do it the next Halloween. And I think the elf on the shelf, has shown that you can be extremely successful.
Yeah.
And what I want to be is and remember, Halloween is the second biggest retail event in the US.
Yes.
I'd rather be the top of mind and leader in one segment
Yeah.
Then an average in all segments.
Have you looked into partnering with those Halloween pop-up store to feature your product in? I know the big one in US is called Spirit Halloween. There's
Yes.
hundreds of those like pop-up stores that pop up everywhere,
Yes.
like across the United States. So
Correct. So we are in the process of working with a rep group.
okay.
Who have has contacted them.
Oh, okay.
And this year it's already Halloween is done. They're by a year ahead.
I see. Maybe next year.
But it's okay. I mean, if we go in a new country, we go to Canada, we go in a new channel, TikTok, we are on Walmart, and we go into the retail, the Astra stores and other stores.
Yes.
And I think, again, you can only pressure an infrastructure of a company so much because you cannot do everything at the same time. But that's just on the horizon where we have our retail strategy there. Target is another big one, which we're in talks to, but that they always buy a year ahead.
Yeah, that's correct. Okay, thank you so much for sharing that. So we're kind of wrapping up today's interview here. If you have to just share one piece of advice with someone that's getting started within the toys and game industry, what would that be?
I think nobody gets everything right in the first place. I don't know if it's Einstein quotes or not. I think they debate it. But, I think they say it's a person who has never made a mistake, never tried hard enough.
Yes. I heard that before.
And I think I could see where if you are a new entrepreneur, you might either wait so long and think now it's perfect, and it's never perfect. I think the true test comes in that. And I think now, on the other hand, if you go too early, that's a problem too. But I think by having a sequential, cautious, controlled rollout where you increase the exposure, like we did with Kickstarter, where a couple of hundred, first year were a couple of thousand, now it's more. I think I have a controlled environment, get feedback and implement in the product improvement. I think that's probably one of my, if I need to narrow it down to one advice, I think that's one where, I would advise people to do it.
I see. And I think I also will advise don't overanalyze and so much you don't take any action. You still need to take action and move forward, obviously. But thank you so much for sharing that. So for our audience that's interested to learn more about you, your brand, where's the best place for people to find you online?
So Ambassadors is obviously on our website, which is bonesisback.com.
Okay.
Very simple to remember. Bones is back. Bones is back for every season.
Yeah.
Or, some people say, I'll be back. Oh, yeah.
I'll be Terminator.
That's where you guys can find us. And he will be back every October for sure.
Got it. Okay. Thank you so much for your time today to share your journey and your wisdom with our audience today.
Thank you for having me again. It was great.
And for our audience, thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Toy Business Unboxed podcast. I hope today's conversation gave you some practical insight and fresh inspiration for growing your own toy or game brands. This podcast is sponsored by Toy Launch, a leading marketing and growth partner for toys and game companies. At Toy Launch, we help brands scale on Amazon and beyond through full service account management, advertising, SEO, creative, catalog optimization, influencer marketing, and more. If you're looking for a proven team that really understands the toys and game industry and e-commerce marketing, we're here to help. Feel free to find us on our website at toy-launch.com for more information to schedule a free consultation session with us and our team. If you want to connect with other toys and game founders, join our brand new communities called Toys and Game Launchpad. You can find more information also on our homepage, which we are launching, and also at toy-launch.com/group. Until next time, keep innovating, keep creating, keep bringing joys through toys. This is Jason Shea signing off on the Toy Business Unboxed podcast. We will see you in the next episode. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a good one. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.